As we've seen in class, when we're working with similar figures, the scale factor, or the ratio of their sides, is always equal to the ratio of their perimeters. They're the same ratio. What we discovered was that to find the ratio of their areas, we need to square those numbers. And so these two ratios, the scale factor and the perimeters, will always be the same. To find your area ratios, you'll need to square those numbers to get there. Or, if we're trying to go backwards and we are starting with the area of the ratios, or the ratio of the areas, we're going to take the square root to work backwards. So let's use that information to fill this chart out down here. We're given two similar figures. Now we have no idea what those figures are, whether they're triangles or octagons or squares, but it doesn't matter, they're similar. And so if the scale factor is 4 to 7, the ratio of their perimeters is also going to be 4 to 7. To find the ratio of their areas, again, whatever the figures are, we're simply going to square those numbers to find this new ratio. 4 squared gives me 16, and 7 squared gets me 49. Well, we should try to simplify as we always do, but here's a trick. As long as this ratio is simplified, this ratio would be simplified as well. So what I tell people to do is just make sure you simplify before you move to another column in your chart. The next row gives us the ratio of the perimeters, as we've just said. The scale factor will be the same thing. So if my perimeter ratio is 5 to 9, my scale factor is also 5 to 9. To find the ratio of their areas, simply square both of those numbers. 5 squared is 25, and 9 squared is 81. Finally, we're given this last example where we're given the ratio of the areas, 144 to 121. Well, to work backwards rather than squaring things, we're going to take the square root of each of those numbers to work backwards. The square root of 144 is 12. And the square root of 121 is 11. And again, make sure you simplify first. This was already simplified, and those numbers were perfect squares, so it was easy to take the square root of them. The perimeter ratio will be the same thing, 12 to 11.